a single letter. Either of those, any of those, it could be a difference maker for them this afternoon. What about the Jaguars?
Well, the Jaguars, they want to avoid the fourth quarter fade, as we mentioned too. They want to keep penetrating. They want to get to the free throw line, and they want to get to the bigs early and often, as in the past.
So there you have it. Switching up the defense and making some house calls. Got to get the ball in low to the two post players, Chloe Ross and Olivia Martin.
Yes, and it's interesting. Both of them have had flashes of brilliance, and both of them had periods where they've disappeared. So it's going to be interesting tonight to see if both of them can play well on the same night.
Yeah, it's curious to see if they both can show up and play consistent as the team will for 4 quarters of basketball. That could be the indicator of whether the Jaguars are firing on all cylinders. We got a chance to talk with Celeste Stewart earlier this season, and she gave us some insights about those two bigs, Olivia Martin in particular. So important for her because she didn't get a whole lot of playing time at the D1 level. Now getting an opportunity to play here at Augusta University, see how she's able to matriculate in with more playing time and getting better and better with her health. And then Chloe on the other side moving up into the ranks of a D2 program, having played high school just a year ago, and although her team went deep in the postseason in North Carolina, seeing exactly what they're able to do. So without further delay, let's pause for our national anthem.
With the play of our national anthem.
Now we turn things over to Jason Shearer, our public address announcer, with the starting lineups of this Peach Belt Conference Saturday afternoon affair.
And now let's meet the starting lineups for this afternoon's contest. First, let's welcome our visitors from Georgia Southwestern. Your starters wearing number 1, Janiyah Johnson. Wearing number 2 for the Hurricanes, Tiara Hazumi. Number 12, Madison Brittle. Number 13, Raven Robinson. And number 21, Cassidy Neal. The Hurricanes are led by Missy Timber. She's assisted by Xavier Jackson.
Of the Jags.
North Carolina. Number 22, Chloe Ross. At 4, the 5'10" sophomore from Greenville, South Carolina. Number 24, Quinacia Abercrombie. At guard, a 5'6" sophomore from Fairfax, Virginia. Number 21, Elise Autry. At guard, a 5'6" junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Number 30, Sierra Burns. And at forward for Augusta, a 6-foot senior from Griffin, Georgia. Number 3, Nadia The head coach of the Jaguars is Celeste Stewart. She is assisted by Ridley Lee, Kayla Patrick, and Monet Lawrence.
And we are ready for basketball action here inside the Christenberry Fieldhouse Saturday afternoon. Doubleheader action coming your way right here on the Peach Belt Sports Network. Of course, we get a chance to bring it to you there, but also around the globe on the Roar Network. So thank you so much for tuning in. Interesting in both of our contests today. We've got some outstanding coaches set to do battle, including this matchup here with Celeste Stewart. Her 3rd season as the full-time head coach, 4th season overall, and she is in search of another victory, looking for win number 64 against only 31 defeats thus far. Her lone loss this season was just by 1, and there you see the talented coach on the other side, Missy Tiber. She's in her 2nd season with assistant coach Xavier Johnson, also in his 2nd season as well. We'll get into her background a little bit more as things go on, but it's time for some basketball. Chloe Ross set to jump tip, and she'll do so against Cassidy Neal. The tip is up. It's controlled by the Jaguars. Elise Autry has a quick advantage if she wants to press it. Dumps it down low to Chloe, who lays it up off the glass and scores. Just 8 seconds in, and the Jaguars lead it 2-0.
On that tip play, the opposing center fell down, couldn't get back up and couldn't get back on defense. Easy basket for the Jags.
So Chloe Ross, freshman campaign, already the 4th leading scorer on her team, averaging 7 points and 4 rebounds a game. Elise Autry steps into one, rattles halfway down and pops out. Loose ball. That center still dealing with some things in the early going, and that's Neal. Neal, a 5'11" freshman out of Milledgeville, played at Baldwin High School. Good floater. That float game is nice by Raven Robinson. She's been on a tear, the junior out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. 5'8" junior. We're deadlocked at 2.
That was a nifty dribble drive penetration.
Elise on the wing, has a height advantage, very rarely for her. There's Q, out to E for 3. Knocks it home.
If Q and E can start hitting those outside shots, they're going to be hard to handle today. Right now, the Hurricanes are trying to handle the Jags press. They fall back into a straight man-to-man.
Kiera Hozumi, she's running the point duties, number 2. Shot up, no good. Neal with the board.
Neal pounding the glass, uses her body, kisses it in.
Little bump action. Underneath, a whistle, and a foul committed by the Canes.
There's some fast action here on the drive. Gets the rebound. Lays it in with the left hand. That last foul was really a ticky-tack foul. Holy mackerel.
Small change, as Bill Rafter used to say. Chloe bounces off her, not once, but twice, and goes out of bounds.
One-two-one-one press.
Broken easily into the front court by Robinson. Hozumi finds a teammate on the left wing for 3. That misses everything. Rebounded by Q. Off to E. She's got a 4-on-3 break. Bounce pass underneath. Didn't cut the lane. And an easy steal for the Canes.
That pass wasn't there.
Looking to transition back the other way. Now the drive. Get in close, throw up the jump hook as you feel contact, and Robinson will go to the line to shoot 2.
Once again, dribble drive penetration by Robinson. Takes the hit on the forearm. Still has enough strength to get it up. Good for her. Coach Stewart says, hey, I want some defense out on the perimeter, and puts in 2 quick perimeter players, defenders.
First one up and through for Raven Robinson. Talked about her recent success. Had a tremendous game the last time out. This is the second free throw. And there you get a look at the Augusta University starting unit. Led by that young lady right there, Q to the bucket. Gains contact. Cordasia Abercrombie coming off that double-double, 17 points, 10 rebounds, and the win over Flagler.
If you play Q tight, she's gone. It's as simple as that. So what you got to do is you got to space her and give her the shot and hope she misses. Because if you get right up on her, she's just going to blow right by it. She's too good an athlete.
.74% free throw shooter on the season. Preseason first team Peach Belt performer. Olivia Martin comes in off the bench to replace Chloe Ross. Here's the Kane starting unit, led by the outstanding performer, Raven Robinson. Back the other way, they're running. Samir Whittle on the floor, Sierra Burns up top. 2-man game, and now they get Q involved. Work the ball around the perimeter. Shot clock at 15. Q ready to operate, lost control of the dribble. Loose ball coming our way, and so is the player. Stops just short of us. And the Jaguars will keep the possession, but only 8 seconds on the shot clock. Whittle calling for it. The junior.
Too much time.
3 seconds. Sets up Dorsey for the step in, and she nails it. Shania Dorsey getting more and more confident with every game, the freshman out of Calhoun, Georgia.
You know, I've liked her from the first time she stepped on the court.
Off balance bank shot back the other way.
She's
Shania
quick.
Johnson.
She's a good defender. She takes good shots.
So Johnson on the board. That's JJ, 5'8" junior out of Apopka, Florida. Two-point game. Dribble drive, Robinson pulling him up and knocking it down. So Robinson off to a fast start. She's got 5 of her team's 9.
And so far, the Jags don't have an answer for her penetrating. She's going where she wants to go.
Whittle brings it up top. They swing it. Now Dorsey looking to get to the bucket and kick. Q, top of the circle for 3. Back iron on that shot attempt. Long rebound pulled out. And now the Canes get it in the front court. Kozumi. That's Madison Brittle. Mentioned JJ. Face guarded out there by Dorsey. What a matchup. Robinson and Q. Big rebound by the post player. Your featured player who drives the lane, just the iron unkind to her. And the Jaguars looking to retake the lead.
You know, I think she is left-handed.
In traffic, C needs help. And a 3-second violation is Olivia Martin was posting up. And we've got a media timeout. Augusta University doing well in the early going.
Here we go, dribble drive, and that was on the opening tip. It's a Ross run, sprinted the floor. Here we go with the Dorsey, tough player. Rush the guard.
Augusta University cheerleaders entertaining the crowd. Get us rolling here in the early going. Charles McNeil and the coach, Lynn Carlson. Left wing, Dorsey for three. They'll make that Elise Autry for three. Shot attempt no good.
Hurricanes so far have done a real good job of handling the Jags' pressure. They haven't turned it over.
Until then.
Great backdoor cut then, but a very poor pass.
The old broadcaster's curse worked to our advantage on that one, Lynn.
Sure did.
All right, so we're looking at the numbers coming into this game. Augusta University shooting from the perimeter, 43% from the field on the season, nearly 30% from long range. Free throw shooting just under 70% on the year. They are averaging 71 points a game, giving up 65 to their opponents. On the other side for Georgia Southwestern, they came into the game scoring 76 and giving up 61 to their opponents. Bank shot from three by Dorsey. Big rebound, and now Ozumi into the front court. Deep try, rattles off, no good. Rebounded by Dorsey, and there's a over the back foul. It'll be registered against Mackenzie Kelly. So the freshman out of Clayton, North Carolina, will pick up the personal here.
The Hurricanes ran a nice in and out on that. They got it into the postman, Neal. She was collapsed on. She kicked it out to the shooter, was all alone, just didn't go down. Good execution of the play until the shot.
You see Missy Tabor back there in the background as that shot goes down. She had a bird's eye view of Dorsey knocking down a three ball. Second made field goal, she's got 5. Coach coming in from Alabama. She coached on the Division I level. Had some great success after multiple years, decided to come to Southwest Georgia. The Jaguars, 2-point edge. They gave her 2 instead of a 3 on that attempt, apparently. All right, there's Autry. And there's a steal by the Jags with pressure. Drive and kick. Cece for 3. Got it.
That's what Cece does.
I was going to say, if she can provide that on a regular off the bench, the Jaguars are being very, very grateful.
She comes in firing. There's no doubt about it. When she hits that floor, she knows she's out there to shoot threes.
Yeah, she did that on Wednesday in the Jaguar win over Flagler. It was big, big help in that third quarter. This is Jaguar basketball on the Roar Network, and Augusta with the lead of 16-9 on a 7-0 run. Jaguars showing exactly what they're capable of and playing at an extremely high level off to this quick start. The Peach Belt Conference has a lot of talent in it this season, and it should be a huge battle for bragging rights before it's all said and done. This is a battle for a portion of first place in the Peach Belt Conference. You've got Columbus State, Augusta, Georgia Southwestern State, USC Beaufort, and Clayton State all beginning the year 1-0 based off their victories on Wednesday. Cross-court pass.
Got to get somebody on the free throw line.
Double teamed into the post as Amari Jackson's out for the first time this season and a shot clock violation. So her first appearance, Lynn, in front of the home crowd pays dividends for the Jags.
The Hurricanes have to flash somebody to the free throw line if they're going to beat that defense.
So Jackson had suffered an injury that kept her out of the lineup, and it's so good to see her back, and what she brings to the table is a lot as a third post player for Augusta University.
There's somebody that's always going to be in foul trouble, and somebody's always going to be tired, and eventually they may even have a night where they play a high-low post with both of them.
Cece misses wide. We'll ask somebody over there in that corner to close the door as we see it closing now.
That was an ill-advised shot.
Pressure broken into the front court, but a latent pass leads to a bump and a foul against the freshman.
One of the reasons that the Hurricanes are not having any problem against that press is the Jags are doing a good job on trapping on the person who catches the inbound pass, but they're leaving the second person wide open.
Nadia Byard out there guarding. Nini, who gives Wade her teammate, who drives in and scores. That's JJ with her second field goal, coming off the bench with a couple of quick ones.
Nice and smooth. Looked like Silky Wilkes on that one.
It cuts the deficit to 5, 16-11.
You know, Neely's actually, she's guarding the basket. She's camped right out in the key, and she's not guarding her man. She's guarding the hoop. Oh, I hope we don't have an injury here.
She went down hard. Fabulous freshman. She will be able to get up, we hope, with the help of her teammates.
When you hear that kind of a noise when they hit the floor, you're hoping it's an elbow or a shoulder and not the head.
The officials are checking with her to see if she's up to taking her free throws. So Dorsey, we get another look at this one, just undercut.
Smaller person ran into a bigger person.
And that was the second foul on JJ. So she'll have to check out of the Canes lineup. Dorsey knocks down the first. Fifth leading scorer on the team, averaging 7.4 points a contest, 73% free throw shooter. Makes one and misses the second one. Chloe back on the floor. So part of that fabulous freshman class, Chloe Ross and Dorsey kicking it out on the wing. There's a three ball in the air. Autry's too strong, rebounded by Q, and she scores on the cleanup on aisle 24.
The athlete bangs the boards and puts it back in.
Jaguar lead is up to 8. largest advantage of the game as the clock is winding down in this opening quarter play. Neal kicks it out into the corner. Three ball too strong. And a rebound and back in the hands of Neal. Driving to the lane, trying to get there. Off balance shot, no good. And the first quarter has come to a close. The Jaguars explosive early on, and they finish with the first at the end as well.
Here we go, nice fakes the dish on the roll and knocks down the J herself. Bangs it in.
More excitement coming your way in just a little bit. This is the Roar Network.
Grab yourself and a friend an ice cold Coca-Cola Jag Bite on the mezzanine. Coca-Cola, the official beverage provider of Augusta Athletics.
Augustino's Italian Eatery and Prime Steaks is the perfect dining option 365 days a year. Conveniently connected to the Augusta Marriott lobby, the restaurant features an upscale Italian flair with USDA Prime Steaks, fresh seafood and more, an extensive wine collection, and the CSRA's largest selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. From the elegant atmosphere to our renowned handmade pasta bar, there's something here to satisfy every guest, every meal, every time. Augustino's Italian Eatery and Prime Steaks.
Second quarter of action inside of the Christenberry Fieldhouse, Augusta, Georgia. The Garden City in a loose ball.
You know, there's good balance in this game right now. The littles are producing for the Jags and the bigs are producing. So they've got good balance, and I'm sure Coach Stewart is pleased to see that.
Yeah, what are the benchmarks for Coach Stewart?
Yeah, the benchmarks for her is she wants consistent effort and enthusiasm for 4 quarters. She wants energy out there. She doesn't want a lull. Lack of energy produces a lull. A lull, everybody goes to sleep, including the people sitting in the seats.
8-point game. Jaguars with their largest lead. Hozumi not looking at the basket, looking for teammates to distribute. She's open on the wing. They didn't go there, and there's a block against Dorsey.
That was an example of a person who took a real bad shot and just got bailed out. And I'm not saying that because it was on. If the same thing had happened with the Jaguar, I would say the exact same, make the exact same comment.
Yeah, she was right. Nowhere.
Yeah. She had nowhere to go.
No.
No.
But Raven Robinson puts a lot of pressure on the defense, so you can understand she was probably high on the scouting report.
I had a coach tell me one time, you take a bad shot, I don't care if you're laying on the floor bleeding, you deserve it.
Wow, that's tough love right there. Made 1 of 2. Robinson, 72% free throw shooter on the season. Loose ball as Q lost it. Turnover to Augusta. It's the Jaguars' 4th turnover. Georgia Southwestern State committed 4 in the opening 10 minutes of action.
Straight man-to-man D. They're letting the point guard dribble out here forever. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Bounce pass, a thing of beauty. Robinson, with a lot of attention on her, found the teammate Neal on the weak side, and a foul from behind.
Here we are with a drive, a dish, foul from the side. Dribble drive penetration and a pocket pass. Before, when we get to the point on the point guard, nobody was playing her. They were 5-6 feet off her. If you're a point guard, nobody's playing you. Move up towards the basket. Force your defender to play you so they can't help out playing somebody else. But absolutely nobody is guarding their little point guard. She could stand out there and dribble until the lights go off.
Janae Jackson gets on the board.
Showed a nice soft touch on those free throws.
Another turnover by the Jaguars. Yeah, Jackson came into this game 5th leading scorer on her team, averaging 10 points, leading rebounder, or 2nd leading rebounder at 7 a game. There she is at the post. Can't stop that one.
Good position and an even better pass leads to a textbook basket.
That's Jackson. She's got a quick 4. 4 in a row to cut the deficit to 3. Elise Autry with the jump hook. That's a wild one. Kept alive by Jackson. Hozumi, head-to-head pass on the right side. She finds Brittle. Hozumi out of Japan. They'll work the ball around the perimeter. Shot clock nearing 10. Now reposting underneath, power move, and a powerful move results in a bucket.
What's my favorite saying, Charles? You play the post man prior to receiving the ball, not after.
6'3" post player out of Brunswick, Georgia. Janae Jackson.
That was a flop.
There's a deflection, nearly a steal. Autry goes down twice. And now a long rebound. Nope, Jackson pulls it in. Tipped it to herself. So an opportunity for Georgia Southwestern to take the lead.
This is what I was talking about earlier. She's got to bring the ball up to the defense to make something happen. She just can't stand out there.
Cross-court pass, shot clock at 2. Floater on the way, and it's good. Madison Brittle gets on the board. The junior out of Louisville.
Remember we were talking earlier about the lulls? And this is a perfect example of it. Everything was going the Jaguar way, and they went into one of the lulls, and now you look up at the scoreboard, and lo and behold, they're behind by 1 point. And what Coach Stewart wants, she just wants some consistency in their play.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Augusta University dance team.
Georgia Southwestern State with wins over Valdosta State, Fort Valley, make that Fort Lauderdale, Auburn, Montgomery, and Clark Atlanta, along with Middle Georgia. That was their 5 wins. They began the season with consecutive losses to Durham College and UVA Wise. So a red-hot team coming in with a lot of confidence, and you can understand why they'd be able to come off the deck down 19-11 at the end of 1 to outscore Augusta 9-0 to start the second quarter. In doing so, in 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And another turnover.
A lot of it has to do with the play of Shanae Jackson. She not only has made some baskets, but she's distributed the ball well to the outside.
Yeah, on those double teams. Pressure by Augusta, trying to speed them up a little bit. And they break it. Byard may need to come out of the game, Lynn. She's holding her right shoulder, who you've noticed over the last couple of days has been heavily wrapped as she gets stuck underneath in an easy bucket. Scored by Jackson. So we talked about Jackson getting in foul trouble. It has not been the case. Instead, she's been putting the Jaguars on skates underneath.
She's taking over right now.
Amari, her first shot attempt of the season. Loose ball, and Byard will get up. Byard not asking out.
Yeah, but if you're hurt, instead of walking around holding your shoulder, run over to the coach and say, "Get me out of here."
That's one of the character traits that Coach talked about in terms of Byard. She's like a Dennis Rodman type. She does so much for the team and kind of an extension of the coach on the floor. She knows the game inside and out. Come in and started talking right away and making sure the players know where their positioning is. And you know about Dennis Rodman, he would not have left the floor regardless, as there's a left-handed layup that goes up down as Georgia Southwestern State is running and gunning.
Yeah, Rodman might be one of the most underrated players in the history of the NBA, and he is solely because he was such a nut job. If he had been normal, he'd have been a Hall of Fame candidate.
There's finally the Jaguars get on the board as C scores that. Sierra Burns, sophomore out of Atlanta, her first field goal. Burns' third leading scorer on the team, averaging just over 8 points a game. Floater down low. We talked about guarding in advance, and it worked out to their Jaguars' advantage.
Play number 4. I'm gonna go back to Rodman for a second because he fascinates me. Phil Jackson said he had the highest basketball IQ of any basketball players he's ever coached. Now take that comment and take the way he led his personal life. How do you figure that? You can't figure it.
Nadia Byard does check out. Turn around by Q. Her shot off the front iron, no good. Rebounded inside and pulled in by Jackson. Hozumi in the front court, surveying the defense. Lise Autry coming out to give her a challenge. And we've got a loose ball foul, offensive foul on the opposite side.
The pick right in front of the referee.
That was against Madison Brittle.
The Jags haven't really scored much in the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, they were talking about the little bit of run that they had, remember, to close out the quarter. But in this quarter, they've only scored 2, and that was on the previous possession.
And Jackson is just dominating on both ends.
Looked at the rim for 3. They'll try to bring it to this side where they've got Jackson. Cross court, wide open look. Big time rebound. Jackson has it. How many feet do you have in the paint? She's able to keep her pivot foot back to the left side for another 3-ball try. That one is long. And gang rebounding by the Jags. Here comes Autry, front court. Autry looks over the right. Burns lines up a 3-ball. Front iron on that attempt, rebounded by Jackson. And she's able to clear.
Jackson just dominating on both sides. And right now the Jags are ice cold.
Three-point game, despite it all. Jags still in it. Only 1 field goal scored in nearly 8 minutes of action. Bullet pass course by Hozumi. And here comes Burns. Dropped it off. Extra pass to Jackson. Her right-hand layup, no good. Strong left-handed player is Jackson, unable to finish on the right side.
Jackson's going to have 20 rebounds by halftime.
Amari Jackson, I got to say, to make sure we're on the right Jacksons. So both Jackson in the post. To the free throw line, Raven pulls up and rattles it home. So Raven with her third field goal. A couple of made free throws. She's got 8. Drive and pull up. Elise is too strong. Rebounded over the top was Abercrombie, and she'll pick up the foul.
I'm going to make an unofficial guess that we have scored 3 or 4 points in the last 6 or 7 minutes, maybe more. 2 points.
2 points in 8.5 minutes, Lynn. That's all we scored. And actually, the basket was scored by Sierra Burns 3 possessions ago. That's the only scoring for the Jaguars in the second quarter.
Now, we created 2 turnovers the last 2 times they've come down simply because AU has pressured the point. If you pressure everybody else and you don't pressure the point, you're whistling Dixie. You're just wasting your time.
Yeah, the point can hold the ball all the way down to when they want to run their offense. Even though the team has scored, and the Jaguars have scored as well, but even though the Georgia Southwestern State team has scored with ease here in this quarter, compared to just 11 in the first quarter.
T with a nice jumper, breaks the drought.
It's a 15-4 run by the Canes. Working the ball around the perimeter with some reserves on the floor. Brittle gets in the hands of Robinson. Robinson goes right side. They'll try to go cross court. Shot clock at 3, 2, spin move, spin again, off balance, hook off the glass, and it drops. Mackenzie Kelly.
I thought Earl Monroe had retired.
Wow. With Dean Mimminger's number. 28-23. Jaguars looking to hold for the final shot. There is a just inside of a second differential between shot and game clock. 9 seconds. Whittle fouled on the perimeter by Robinson. Not sure the coach wanted that, as they did not have a foul to give.
Good teaching point on the play. There's the Earl of Pearl. Couple of spin moves.
Okay, final seconds. 4, 3. Elise Autry for 3, and she gets fouled shooting a 3.
That's the foul that drives coaches nuts. We're going to get a replay on that. We'll see how much contact there was.
At the line for Augusta, Elise Autry.
So they'll send Elise Autry to the line. First time at the line for Elise. Leads the team in free throw shooting better than 84% on the season. And Autry rattles out the third of the 3 tries. And that'll do it for the first quarter. So we played 20 minutes inside the Christenberry Fieldhouse. Game 1 of this doubleheader, and the Jaguars trail by 3.
Here we go with Jackson underneath, asserting herself. Makes a nice banker off the board. Ball movement. Floater. Earl of Pearl. Halfway out to the Roar Network.
In Augusta, Georgia. From intimate boardrooms to expansive conference halls, our versatile venues cater to every occasion. With dozens of modern, flexible rooms, state-of-the-art amenities, and dedicated event staff, we ensure your meetings, conventions, or celebrations are seamless and unforgettable. Host your next event at Augusta Marriott.
Augustino's Italian Eatery and Prime Steaks is the perfect dining option 365 days a year. Conveniently connected to the Augusta Marriott lobby, the restaurant features an upscale Italian flair with USDA Prime Steaks, fresh seafood and more, an extensive wine collection, and the CSRA's largest selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. From the elegant atmosphere to our renowned handmade pasta bar, there's something here to satisfy every guest, every meal, every time. Augustino's Italian Eatery and Prime Steaks.
And we're back inside the Christenberry Fieldhouse where the dance team entertaining the crowd. Always a great time here at Christenberry Fieldhouse. If you're in the area of Augusta, please come through. We would love to have you for part of this doubleheader. Second half action set to come your way in just a little bit. As you can see, the Jaguars trailing by 3 by a score of 28-25 as we bring you back courtside. Charles McNeil along with the legendary coach, Len Carlson. Coach, this game started off looking like it was going to be a Jaguar runaway, up 19-11 at the end of the opening quarter. What happened in the second quarter that got the Georgia Southwestern team back in contention and with the lead at the break?
Well, I think Jackson just took over. She took over. She made great passes. She made about 4 buckets, and she just absolutely dominated the boards. And the only time she had a turnover or lost the ball is when they played her prior to receiving the ball. But she was a key factor. And then the Jags went into their, I won't say customary, but went into their occasional lull where they didn't have any energy and they couldn't score. So just what Celeste Stewart was afraid of happened, and I'm sure she's addressing that issue right now in the locker room.
No question about it. We talked about energy and efficiency in the way that Celeste likes to run things. They did it in the first quarter. Didn't work out so much in the second quarter, but that's not really unusual in this series. When you think in terms of these two teams getting together, it's Georgia Southwestern who has been in control of this series. As we look at it, the 34th all-time meeting between these two, and Georgia Southwestern leading the series 21-12. Actually, the Jaguars won the last contest down in Americus, so they've been looking for an opportunity to avenge that loss. Has been the Canes in this contest, and so you can win on the other team's home floor. That bodes well for your chance to win a championship.
If I can remember correctly, I believe that the Hurricanes' prior 2 coaches both got Division I jobs. I think the current coach down at Georgia Southern came from Georgia Southwestern. And also, I think they had the Twin Towers a couple of years ago. They had 2 players the size of Chloe that could run, and she parlayed that into a lot of victories, an appearance at the national championship, and next thing you know, she gets a nice job. So they have done real well with their women's program there. They've had more success with their women's program than they've had with their men's program over the years.
And of course, the men's program is one that you'll want to see on the Roar Network coming up a little later on, because they're getting votes for the top 25 nationally. So we'll get a chance to see them in game number 2, and they really get up and down the floor. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other things that are happening, including the preseason poll for the Peach Belt. We're just 2 games in. This is our second contest, and you can see Augusta near the top.
It's good to see them there because they had some defeats out of conference early, and you were wondering how they'd be. But to look at that realistically, it's too early. All those teams have won 1 game, and as they would say in Brooklyn, big deal. You know, come back 6-7 weeks from now and look at it, and when somebody is 6-1 or 7-1, now you got something. But right now, you're either in first place or you're in second place. So you've won 1 or you've lost 1.
And of course, the coaches have a very difficult job in trying to pick that preseason poll, considering you don't know what the other team actually has. Everything's speculative based on transfers, and man, there are a ton of transfers throughout the conference this season. When we come back, we'll talk more about the second half of action, get you some highlights and some statistics as well. You're watching Augusta University basketball on the Peach Belt Sports Network and the Roar Network.
Augustino's Italian is the perfect dining option 365 days a year. Conveniently connected to the Augusta Marriott lobby, the restaurant features an upscale Italian flair with USDA prime steaks, fresh seafood, and more, an extensive wine collection, and the CSRA's largest selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. From the elegant atmosphere to our renowned handmade pasta bar, there's something here to satisfy every guest, every meal, every time. Augustino's Italian Eatery and Prime Steaks.
Y'all, I'm fully convinced that thrifting is the way to go. I got all of these pieces and only spent $10 because I traded in my old clothes and got store credit from Uptown Cheapskate. This cardigan is perfect to layer on top of other pieces. It's still new with tags. I picked up this really cute dress that's perfect for date night or just a night out. This top, the color is everything for fall this year. So I paired this top with a really cute pair of flare jeans, added in some kitten heels to elevate the look, all from Uptown Cheapskate.
Your Jaguars prepared themselves for a second half to remember as they try to remain perfect in Peach Belt Conference play in this early going. Of course, the Jaguars will get back into action. We'll see them a week from today will be their next contest, Len. And it's so important as you get that lengthy break, and especially with schoolwork and things like that that takes place during the week, to have that winning energy throughout the week.
Yeah, you have to keep the energy. And some kids now are thinking about vacations and going home and seeing their family and seeing their high school girlfriend, and all kinds of stuff enters their mind, and it affects their efficiency. And that's one of the problems that the real good Division I teams don't have, because they're playing over the holidays. You're on TV, you're going here, you're going there, so you don't have time to be distracted by the normalcy of everybody else's life. So it's a good time to grind it out. The coach has got to grind. It's got to be a bad man. Coach has got to grind you prior to the holiday season, force you to get better, and then, of course, it'll play dividends as the season goes on.
Yeah, Jaguars were up 19-11 in that first quarter, outscored 17-6 in the second quarter as we take a look at some of your first half highlights.
Rocking right along here, we get dribble drive penetration, flips it up to the basket and it goes in. Coming back here into the post, Jackson, the dominant player of the game, lays it in, motors down the floor, going to her again. Same play, bang off, got a player prior to receiving the ball. On the floor, kicks it over, inside, floater, bang, another basket. There's a point guard with a long full court pass, lays it in with the left hand. Good job by the Hurricanes. Knocking down shots inside and outside. Earl LaPrill Monroe move off the glass. And that's why Earl Monroe retired, because of Achilles tendon problems. Chloe on the opening tip. Coming back, T with a jumper from the outside. CC going to the hoop. Going to the hoop, knocking it down. T once again with a jumper, bingo.
So big shots by Augusta to keep things close as they trail by one field goal. A three-point attempt gets them back where they need to be as we take a look at the halftime numbers, and you can see only 9 made field goals for Augusta, 54% shooting for the Canes.
I think the critical part of these statistics are twofold. The Hurricanes are 0 for 7 from threes. That's not good. But they're absolutely killing Augusta on rebounds. And that's not good for Augusta. And then on the negative side for Georgia Southwestern, they have turned the ball over 10 times as compared to Augusta's 4. So you can really look at these stats and you can say, okay, I see why Augusta is where they are, and I can see where Georgia Southwestern is where they are.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look at those numbers, and in particular that 0 for 7, as you mentioned, from long distance. A Georgia Southwestern team who came into this game 55 for 161. That's 34% from long range. 0 thus far. Goose egg through 20 minutes of action.
Right, I think the wing defenders from Augusta is forcing them to drive, and then the point person from the Hurricanes is not being guarded outside. Now, I don't know if that little point guarder name is Hozomu. I don't know if she can shoot from the outside or not, but if she can shoot 22-footers all night because they're not guarding her out there. And she's an excellent ball handler, and she's a pesky little defender. It's be interesting to see if they tell her to start firing a couple up there, at least to draw the defense out.
Another interesting note as you look at the numbers, Augusta on average 39 rebounds a game, being held to just 9 rebounds through their first 20 minutes of action, but that's because they're shooting at a high percentage.
And Jackson.
That's right, Jackson shooting at an extremely high percentage, as she has been a woman on a mission. As we talked about her, let's see her in our news and notes segment. There she is, Shanae Jackson. Georgia Southwestern, the reigning Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week. So we're facing the best of the best in the conference thus far. And we still have, and we've faced already Marley Smith, you might remember, just a couple of days ago. So back-to-back Peach Belt Conference Players of the Week. Did you ever remember a time when you had to do that, where you had to face back-to-back top players in the conference?
Well, you know, it's interesting about them because they are entirely different types of players. So one is an outside player that can shoot from the corner and the top of the key and occasionally go inside, where Jackson is strictly give me the ball low and look out. I'm going to nail you and I'm going to put it in the basket.
There you go. 3-point game. Second half action coming your way next. This is the Roar Network. All set and ready to go with the second half of action inside of the Christenberry Fieldhouse. Jaguars trailing by 3, 28-25. It's Autry along with Burns, Abercrombie, Ross, and Byard. Nadia had some treatment, I'm sure, during the break out there. Not looking like the shoulder is an issue to start the second half.
Also, they've changed them in a 2-1-2 zone. And it's a flat 2-1-2.
Into the corner, long range 3, no good from that corner. Put up there, attempted by JJ. Autry, dribble handoff to Burns. They run the weave. Q Nothing available, takes that extra step. Shot up, no good. Ball tipped by Byard, and she couldn't save it on the end line.
Nice moves, just couldn't finish. You know, corner jump shots can be difficult if you catch the ball as you're running to the corner. If you catch the ball when you're in the corner, they're a lot easier.
Neal gets the start in the post to begin the second half. She's on the weak side. Cross-court pass deflected by Byard. Handed off to Autry. And here come the Jags, looking to tie or take the lead on this possession. Abercrombie thought about the three, instead goes to Burns underneath. And C unable to score, but she drew contact and will go to the line to shoot two.
Nice move. She goes, gets bumped, still has enough strength to put it up. Good job.
Sierra
Burns, 1 of 3 from the floor in that first half.
Quicker than she used to be.
She rattles the first one around and it finds a home. Mentioned she's the third leading scorer, shooting 64%, almost 65% on the season. And she knocks down a pair here.
There's the trap.
Looking for help. In the post, Neal. Off balance, hook shot, no good. Good box out by Burns. Outlet pass to Autry. T over the top to Abercrombie. Lays it up, no good. Tipped around, Ross has it. She's sandwiched. And as we've seen, Chloe Ross will not relinquish the basketball until the referees ask for it.
I think she'd be a great arm wrestler.
She does it all without changing her facial expression. Inbounds to Q, wide open. Didn't like the free throw line, gets a little closer and banks it home.
Using her athleticism to get free. Kisses it off the glass.
Renasia Abercrombie, 2 for 4 from the floor. She's got 6 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. She, along with Elise Autry, leading the attack. Autry with 9 points in that first half. Good defense by Ross not to draw the foul against the speedier Brittle. Speaking of Autry, she got in close. Q on the weak side rebound. She hits the floor hard. She hit the floor hard twice in our game on Wednesday, you might recall, Lynn.
Yeah, Q makes so many things happen because of her athleticism. Ball goes up. She gets right in there, quickness. She gets in the gap between the two players, gets the rebound, puts it up, and gets fouled.
Yeah, I like that because she didn't give up on the rebound or think that her teammate was going to make the layup. She was right there in the fray to make something happen for the Jags.
There's absolutely no quitting this person.
We talked about her double-double on Wednesday and the Jaguar victory. She makes down the second of 2.
Two, three.
And the 3 ball drops from the corner. That's Hannah Simmons, Brandywine, Maryland, just outside of D.C. 5'9" junior, burying one from the corner.
The toughest part for Augusta on that defense is when the ball rotates and goes deep to the corner, Chloe's got to run all the way out there and guard the player. And that's a lot of distance for her to cover. But that's what you give up. You take away the inside game and you give the corner game.
So your leading scorers at the end of that first half of action, Raven Robinson and Shanae Jackson. They combined for 6 of 10 shooting from the floor, 16 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists along the way. As for Augusta, they were paced by Quinasia Abercrombie and Elise Autry. Autry leading scorer with 9 points and a board, 2 assists and 2 steals combined. They had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals for the Jags. Neither team with a blocked shot officially in this game. The biggest advantage that Georgia Southwestern State had in terms of numbers outside of the rebounding margin, we mentioned 22-9 in our statistical breakdown, was points in the paint. 22-6 was the margin there. And as we mentioned, 8 of those coming off the formidable hands of Jackson. So Jaguars continue with the same group that just left the floor. Byard out there with Autry and Burns. Those two in the backcourt. You've got Q, Ross, and a double high screen for Autry. See Autry getting frustrated by Hozomi.
Zomi's got quick feet.
She's kind of one of those pesky guards. It's always in the middle of everything. There's almost a near deflection. Pull-up jump shot. Autry strong on that attempt. Now she's got to get out and guard Hozomi. Try to give her a little taste of her own medicine, I believe. Hozomi gets her pocket pick. Autry ahead of the field, no defender in her path. Lays it up high and brings it home. Count that one and a foul.
That's a perfect example of what happens when you pressure the point guard versus playing 6-7 feet from the point guard. They just got to keep pressing number 2, Hozomi. Pressure her, pressure her, pressure her. Oops, that's a coach realized that and took her out.
This young lady right here put in the work during the summer, said Coach Stewart. Knowing there was a lot of talent in that backcourt, in order to assert herself as a leader, she had to make plays like that, and she's fortunate to have the strength to be able to do so. Perimeter. High arcing shot by Robinson, no good. And the Jaguars with an opportunity to increase their lead. Byard. Ross asking for it. Burns. Now Ross has it, gathers, and gets it rejected. There's our first block of the game. So Chloe, it's been automatic being able to turn and put that over the top of others, but not here.
No, unfortunately, she's playing against somebody bigger than her and longer than her.
Q working against the defender. Up and under move, goes up strong and gets fouled. This time, I believe it's going to be Brittle. Indeed, it will. That's her third. So Brittle with 3. She'll have to have a seat, possibly. Takes the long walk over to the coach to have a conversation. Plead her case to stay on the floor. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the third. There's plenty of basketball left. And Q at the line for her second. Quinasia Abercrombie knocks down a pair, the sophomore out of Greenville. The Jaguars up to a 4-point advantage. Their largest lead has been 8.
Back in actually a 2-3 zone. Chloe's guarding the basket. Hurricanes not running anybody to the free throw line.
Dribble penetration against Chloe, who walled up.
That was a Garrett Seiler foul. Little man drives baseline. Big man's in perfect position. Little man smashes into the big man. Little man falls down. Big man gets called for the foul. It's not a foul.
So, of course, you're talking about Garrett, former star here at Augusta University. Played in the NBA as well. Now graduate assistant for Dip Mitras. He's the cousin of Chloe Ross. There's Chloe. So give it to me so I can set up my teammate. Driving Elise. Undercut by the defender, Mackenzie Kelly. Whistle blows and a foul is committed.
One of the reasons that the Jaguars have had so much success in driving is the Hurricane players are doing a good job with their feet of getting in front of their person, but then they drop their arms. And it's a natural reaction to drop your arms instead of holding your arms out wide, extending them, and making people drive in an arc. When you drop your arms, they drive straight ahead, and when they drive straight ahead, you're cooked meat. There's nothing you can do.
Under 5 timeout. 4:55 left to go in the third. You're watching the Raw Network.
Was on number 7, Mackenzie Kelly. That's her 4th, the team's 5th foul of the quarter. At the line for Augusta, Elise Autry.
Back to live action. Elise Autry at the line. Mackenzie Kelly picking up her 4th personal foul. 2 key cogs in foul difficulty in the backcourt. The junior and the freshman, Brittle and Kelly. So free throw good that time for T.
Still back in that zone, trying to negate Jackson. Oh, look, they finally flashed somebody into the post.
Deep try. Little push off, no whistle. Ball deflected out of bounds. It'll go back to Georgia Southwestern State. So Georgia Southwestern State trailing by 4. Done after they led by 3 after a tremendous second quarter in which they outscored Augusta 17-6. There's a lob over the top. Easy opportunity. The Jaguars playing small right now.
Smart move by the Hurricanes. As soon as AU made the substitution and put a tall, slender person on Jackson, boom, they went right to her, and she muscled up and got to get to the line for a couple of foul shots.
Yeah, that's Amari Jackson from Gainesville, Florida.
She's got soft hands.
Working against Shawnee Jackson out of Brunswick, Georgia. Brunswick about 2.5 hours from Americus. Shawnee good on the first one, misfired on the second attempt. Deficit is 3. That one rejected. Opportunity as they work again on her. And a traveling violation is called.
You know, Brunswick has got a couple of the biggest paper plants on the East Coast. They've got Hercules and Interstate Paper down there. And it's a big shipping harbor where the big ships come in and drop off cars and stuff like that come from Japan and Europe.
Amari Jackson with the steal. First game of the season. Dorsey drives and kicks. Had the layup but didn't see it. Jaguars up by 3. On the floor for the first time is Kamira Langston. Langston with the headband. Now it's T. Awkward dribble. Got it taken away.
Just drove into traffic. Too many people there.
On the wing. On the wing again. The ball gets deflected out of bounds. And the Canes will keep the possession.
Any corner on the court is a dangerous place to be when the other team is trapping.
There's a steal. Tamir Whittle brings it across. It settles everything down. Now coach says, let's go. 3 minutes left to go in the third period. Jaguars up by 3. Second game of the Peach Belt Conference schedule right here on the Roar Network. Charles McNeil and the Hall of Fame coach, Lynn Carlson. And a beautiful move by Dorsey, who might be a Hall of Famer before her career is done.
She's just going to have a great career, great career. Going back to trapping on the corner, if we ask people, here we go. Out front, starts one way. That was just bad defense by Jackson. She didn't move her feet.
And the fact that Dorsey never gave up her dribble allowed her to get all the way to the painted area. Shania misfires on the free throw line. Second miss at the line for her. But there's a steal. There it is. It's Dorsey going to the bucket. Oh, she comes up short. That would have been a tremendous get back from there.
It's $1 million move and a nickel finish.
Shania Dorsey and the Jaguars up by 5. 2.5 minutes left in the third. Jackson trying to guard her namesake out there. Shot clock at 5. Drive and a kick, and it's high and out of bounds.
Into the bleachers.
So this Jaguar half-court defense has been tremendous. We're talking about a team who has held their opponents to just 65 points a game in the Jaguars. On the other side, Georgia Southwestern State scoring at better than 76 points a game. Mid-range, kick it out. Now they're reset. Q at the top. Goes down low. Langston, jump hook off the window. No. Front court. That's Simmons. Hozumi. Lob over the top. Double team and a whistle is called. And that'll go against Jackson.
The pass should have never been thrown, even though that she's at the free throw line. Should have never been thrown. She was sandwiched nicely by the Jags. Should have never thrown it to her. Let's see what they run on OB under.
I don't think you can move like that on the inbounds. She shuffled her feet down there. Shot clock at 10. 90 seconds left to go in the third.
Got to get somebody in the high post.
3 seconds. Shot on the way, and it finds the bottom. Madison Brittle, with that foul difficulty, didn't mind going to the hole and possibly picking up number 4.
That was a tough shot.
And lack of concentration on the part of the freshman goes out of bounds off the hands of Dorsey. So the Jaguars up by 3 after trailing by 3 at the break. Clock starts to move, nearing the 1 minute mark. Jaguars back in that 2-3 zone. It's a matchup zone. Cross-court pass is stolen by Whittle. They've got a 3-on-1 if they hustle. Bounce pass ahead. Dorsey gets 2 and 2 deep. Gives it off to Q. Kicks it out. Whittle, left wing corner.
Good patience, good patience.
2-for-1 opportunity if they get a shot up quickly. Nope. Looks like they're going to settle. Take the clock down. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Euro step, getting to the basket, no, rebounded by Byard. Out it goes to Jackson, mid-range. Yes, she knocks it down.
Byard made that happen. Great rebound, great pass.
The senior from Gainesville, Florida, on the board in her first game back. Here in the 25-26 campaign, she'll be much needed. Final seconds of the third. Hozomi pulls up from way downtown. And that's the way the third quarter comes to a close. So Augusta University off the deck, down by 3. They lead it by 5 at the end of 3 quarters of play.
AU showing a little life late. Nice rebound. Kicks it out for the J. And we got a one-on-one move here. Goes in, boom.
You're watching the Roar Network.
This cardigan is perfect to layer on top of other pieces. It's still new with tags. I picked up this really cute dress that's perfect for date night or just a night out. This top, the color is everything for fall this year. So I paired this top with a really cute pair of flare jeans, added in some kitten heels to elevate the look. All from Uptown Cheesecake. Bye!
And welcome back, everyone. It's the start of the fourth period here on the Roar Network. He's Len Carlson. I'm Charles McNeil. We've got a doubleheader second game set to come your way. A team that's receiving votes nationally. Georgia Southwestern State taking on Augusta University in the men's contest. That will come up 25 minutes at the conclusion. Of course, at the end of our game, Celeste Stewart will come over and visit with us for a couple of quick questions and get her thoughts on what's happening and how she saw this game come together. But still a quarter left. 10 minutes to go with a 5-point advantage for Augusta. That thanks to a 16-8 run in the third. So this has been the first and third quarters belonging to Augusta. If you look at their numbers in the fourth quarter, it's the quarter that they score the least amount of points on the season. Augusta entered this game most productive in the first and second quarters, averaging just about 19 points in each of those. As Jackson scores again. Shawnee with another easy hoop inside. So Jackson now with 11. Raven Robinson with 10 to lead the way. 3-point attempt. Bank shot. She tried to bank earlier inside, but it worked on the outside on this Saturday afternoon.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
That's Langston, the senior out of Chicago.
Don't throw a ball to a person who's being double teamed. Inbounds. Being fronted, nice lob pass. Weak side person was late getting there, easy basket.
The foul is on Augusta. Chloe Ross, her second, the team's first foul.
Chloe Ross picking up her second foul. Fans not agreeing with either one of those calls, Len.
No, that was a ticky-tack call.
Hozomi, right side pass to an open teammate. Tried the quick three, didn't work out. Now the Jaguars back the other way. Ross running the floor, trying to make Jackson stretch her strength. Lob over the top, and Jackson with the quick hands to pull it in.
She's just longer.
And alert. Not just long for long's sake. She's able to see and anticipate and make a solid play. Hozomi being guarded closely by T.
Hozomi's wasting too much time out there.
There she goes, a rare shot attempt, and it drops home.
Maybe she heard me.
So take that, coach. Hozomi, Tierra with the 3 ball, her first field goal of the game. She's out of Chiba, Japan. 5'3", with the ability to knock down shots, the point guard for the Canes. She finally called her own number. Maybe she was waiting for money time. The 4th period, she's cut the deficit to 3. Just under 8 minutes left. Down low, easy bucket for Jackson. Shanae Jackson with another field goal. Now 5 of 6, maybe 5 of 6. Yeah, that's correct. 5 of 6 on the day. Step back, jumper. Autry off the front iron, no good. And a chance for Georgia Southwestern State to take the lead. 3 ties in the ball game. And our 5th lead change comes on that foray to the hole by Raven Robinson.
I think we're going to have a timeout here. We're in the dreaded 4th quarter. I think Celeste's going to call time. Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Autry knows what coach wanted, and that's a TO at the 6:53 mark. So 1-point game, Georgia Southwestern with the lead.
Bombs away from Steph Curry range. That was an old 1950s set shot. And back in the 1958-59, when most of you weren't born, that guy who led the nation in scoring was a guy by the name of Porky Vieira with a 2-handed set. And those of you who are Monday Night Football fans, you all know the original producer was Chet Forty. And Chet Forty was an All-American at Columbia, and he had right and left-handed hook shots and a 2-handed set shot, was an All-American. So the set shot used to be a big deal back in the day of short hair and short pants.
Jaguars' lone loss on the season, and 2-point overtime loss right here inside the Christenberry Fieldhouse to Catawba back on November the 19th. 80-78 was the final score of that one. Thus far this season, Quinasia Abercrombie or Elise Autry have led the Jaguars in scoring in each of the games thus far this season. Abercrombie doing so in 3 contests, including our most recent. We talked about the double-double performance. Elise has the high total of the season in a single game with 24, doing so in the loss to Catawba. So far our numbers.
There's a huge free throw differential in this game, and there's a huge rebound differential.
We'll get to that in just a few seconds. Thus far, the leading scores, there are 2 in double figures for Georgia Southwestern. Augusta is led by Elise Autry with 14, the lone double-digit score. Quinasia Abercrombie seeking another double-double, 9 points and 6 rebounds. Autry with 3 steals, 2 assists to go along with her 14 points. Langston getting extended playing time in this one as Ross works against the big, turns and faces, rattles out, gets her own rebound, tries to go up with it. Ball deflected out of bounds as Chloe wanted that one.
We had a real good angle on that. She got hit on the forearm. But the official that made the call didn't have a good angle.
Q dumps it down low, beautiful feed, and Chloe with the left hand.
That was all Q. Great pass.
Get her involved on the offensive end. You know she'll pay dividends for you on the defensive side. 2-3 zone, Langston got out of position, allowing the easy entry feed, but the ball is tipped out of bounds, and they'll say Augusta basketball say it wasn't tipped, that she threw it out of bounds. Maybe she got a little assistance on the bump out. I don't think she purposely threw it that way, but great job by Chloe on the interior.
The official that was supposed to make the call on that didn't see it. And the other official who was underneath the basket, she asked him for help, and I think he guessed. I don't think he saw it either.
So the Jaguars with a chance to add to their lead as they just regained it. Q misses the back iron, rebounded by Chloe. She hits a bump, and Chloe is fired up. Freshman.
She's going to have a great career. Gets involved in the nutrition department of the medical school and gets in the weight room, and who knows what she's going to be able to accomplish by the time she's a senior. Too quick. And I'm going to start talking about free throws again. I'm just going to bite my lip.
Ross at the line. She has struggled this season from the stripe. Now 2 for 10 on the season. So maybe she'll take a trip to the Carlson School of Free Throw Shooting. You've helped so many of the Jaguars over the years, Coach. If nothing else, what you talked about us on a previous broadcast, just in taking your time, how important that is in between shots and before you take the first shot.
Bill Sharman, top man. Bill Sharman led the NBA in free throw shooting percentage.
The Hall of Famer, Bill Sharman. 47-45 from deep. Hozomi recognizing as a point guard would, the shot clock winding down. There's Chloe, ball deflected. Shania, we talked about that. The bounce pass is far more effective.
That last shot came in from the airport. It was way out there. It was with Bob Euchre, way up in the cheap seats.
Q dumps it down low. Chloe. They've got a two-man game working to perfection.
Q can hurt you in so many ways. Score, defense, makes great passes, close in the right spot at the right time, finishes the play.
The freshman out of Matthews, North Carolina, allowing her presence to be seen and heard out there. The approval of this crowd. 4:45 left. Regulation. Jaguars up by 4 against a team with a 5-game win streak. There's a lob over the top. Ball deflected. Elise has it. Gets into the front court. She's got numbers. Elise looks underneath. Chloe gathers, lays it up. Can't get it to fall. And ball tipped out of bounds. It'll be Jaguar basketball. Chloe moving quickly up the floor, beating Jackson to the spot. And just unable to finish.
That was just a fatigue thing. Like I say, her physiology changes and she gets in better and better shape, she's going to have one heck of a career here.
Because she's a willing runner up and down the floor,
yes.
A rim runner.
Right.
Here's a lob to Q. High ball screen, avoided. Outside, Dorsey steps inside, bullet pass out to Autry for 3. Lines it up, can't get it to fall. Back on the floor for the first time in a while is Cassidy Neal. So she's taking over for Jackson in the post. And they'll take some time to allow Jackson to get a rest. 2-possession game out on the perimeter. 3 ball on the way, splash.
And
That's
that,
Raven Robinson.
That happened because they finally flashed somebody into the high post. They got it in there, they kicked it to the open person.
Robinson was 0 for 4 from 3 until that one splashed home. 4:01 left to go. In the 4th period, the Jaguars clinging to a 1-point lead on the Roar Network. I think they're going to take another break after this one, Lynn, so this is not the media timeout. We'll keep it right here, although they did put up the 1 finger sign that says 1 minute left, so be curious to see what happens on the back end. But since we are right here, let's talk about what we've seen here in the second half, in particular this play by the Jaguars, who are taking Georgia Southwestern's best punches and coming back swinging themselves.
Well, if you go to the ocean on the tide, there's an ebb and a flow, and that's exactly what's happened with the Jaguar. They went into a lull and they've come back. Their energy disappeared, their energy came back. And now they've got a 1-point lead. And I think this is going to be a nail biter going right down to the finish.
So the Jaguars started off this quarter with a lot of success, that 9-2 run, continuing their hot play, and now driving, trying to get to the bucket. That should be a traveling violation. Nope, call a foul underneath. That's what's caused the extra step on the part of Dorsey. Let's watch it again. She held the pivot foot, nonetheless, knocked down the shot. Would have liked to have seen that continuation.
Yep, there's a huge free throw differential in this game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 5 of 8 shooting from the free throw line for Georgia Southwestern. Jaguars 13 of 17. They don't need free throws, but you can knock down shots like that. Deep try, and it fell home to give Georgia Southwestern back the lead.
Let's see if the Jazz can keep their composure here going down in the last couple of minutes of this game.
Chloe on the bench getting a little rest. Autry working against 2 defenders, kicks it low to Dorsey. Dorsey looking for the ball screen, kicks it out instead. Now Langston will line up a 3. Rattles off, no good. Did so just ahead of the shot clock. And now an opportunity for Georgia Southwestern to extend their lead. Their largest advantage has been 5 back in the second quarter. Jaguars have led by as many as 8. 5 lead changes, 3 ties along the way. Easy bucket by Robinson.
The drive, curl drive.
So Robinson now with 14, 13 in the game for Jackson. Jaguars' lone double-digit scorer is Autry.
Okay, they're gonna let the air out. Hurricanes letting the air out a little bit. Let's see what they call.
Robinson working against Abercrombie.
Isolation.
Got it to fall and a foul.
Huge isolation play on the left side. Jackson cleared out and gave her the whole length to the basket.
That's her third, Augusta's third team foul. Back in the game for the Jaguars, number 3, Denia Meyer, and number 30, Sierra Burns. At the line, Randy Robinson.
So Robinson with 1 3-point field goal and 6 from the 2-point variety, but misses another free throw, and that helps the Jaguars out inside of 2 minutes left. 2-possession game. Sierra Burns gives it off to Abercrombie. Spin move against the big. There's contact, a delayed whistle, and a foul.
The foul was on the Hurricanes, Cassidy Neal. Her third, the team third. At the line for the Jaguars, Quinnisha Abercrombie.
So Q at the line. Seven of 8 from the free throw line for Q. She now has 11 points, and there's nearly a steal. Just barely holding on to it. Got it over to Simmons, into the hands of Robinson, and now back in the hands of Brittle. So Brittle with those 3 fouls has possession of the basketball, being guarded closely by Autry. Jaguars going back to a man with shot clock at 4. They got to get a shot up quickly, turning and facing. That one will come up short of the mark, rebounded over the top, and a shot clock violation as it didn't hit the rim. Will give the ball back to Augusta with 72 seconds left to go in regulation. Autry looking for help. Finds Burns. Burns drives the lane, gets bumped, puts it up off the glass. No, but there's a foul, and she'll go to the line. So all that extra work being done at the end of practice, sometimes at the beginning of practice at the free throw line. And Lynn talked about how we had a huge free throw disparity in this game, which is what you expect in conference play at home. Home teams tend to get more opportunities. Of course, Augusta's been going to the basket a great deal as well. And Burns at the line where she splashes the first. Burns certainly wanted to take on more of a leadership role this year. When she first arrived on campus, she had a lot of moves that reminded you of the former South Carolina, now LSU star, Mylasia Full-Wiley. The ability to put the ball on the deck, go behind the back, and make so many moves, so many great things happen. During the offseason, made a huge commitment to her fitness, coming in looking fabulous to start the year, and it's paid off for her as well, elevating herself to the third leading scorer on the team this season, getting to the free throw line, not just being a three-point shooter, providing a boost with assists. She already was an outstanding passer, and then add to that the ability to help the team down the stretch at the free throw line. Jaguars still in this one possession game, but it's Georgia Southwestern's possession. 53.9 seconds left in regulation, the inbounds. Full court pressure, nearly stolen away, and then a reach in the backcourt by Burns, and a foul committed by C.
Her second, Augusta's fourth team foul.
Nobody to throw to. Finally, they get to Raven. Ball loose, picked up in the backcourt, and a foul. And I think that one will go against Raven after she got her pocket picked. It will indeed go against Robinson. So Robinson picking up the personal foul with 46.7 seconds left. So don't go anywhere. And Q is at the line with a chance to cut this one down to 1.
Free throws could determine the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I was talking to the audience, Lynn, about the fact that the Jaguars put in so much time, as all teams do, shooting at free throws. You come in early, often you stay as the last thing you do before you depart. Coaches even will put a little pressure on the team saying you run additional free throws if you miss, laps rather, gassers, if you miss those free throws, up downs, all of those things can come down to how a coach will motivate you to do that. The Jaguars, by virtue of that extra work, have cut the deficit to 1 with 46.7 seconds left.
Well, two things that a player can work on without a coach being there and all alone in the gym is every day they can work on their free throws, number one, and every day they can work on their non-dominant hand. So you can go into a gym, if you're a righty, you can shoot 50, 60 left-handed layups or little tiny jumpers, and you can shoot 50 free throws, and you're going to get better. And even to be able to dribble with your non-dominant hand is a big plus. So, with the rebound differential being what it is, if the Jags win this game, they could say they're winning at the charity stripe, no doubt about it. Another nail-biter here at Christenbury Fieldhouse.
Yeah, place has seen so many nail-biters over the years. We talked about the fact that Jaguars trailing in the series all time, but winning the last one. They'd love to be able to put together their own 2-game win streak in this series as the fans continue to file in, getting ready for our second game of the twin build. Georgia Southwestern State team is actually on the men's side. We're off in the right of your, be on the left side of your screen, as there's the inbounds. Try to get it over the top. At least Autry deflects it. It will remain possession in favor of the Canes. So Hurricane basketball, 38.8 seconds. That took 3 seconds off the clock.
Jags got away with a foul there, too.
16-second differential between shot and game clock, so they can lock it down defensively. They do not have to commit a foul at this juncture. They'll throw it in the backcourt. Keep an eye on that red clock on your screen. That'll be the shot clock, winding down to 10. High ball screen. Kick it over to Robinson. Robinson trying to go baseline. Kicks it over the opposite corner. Wide open look for three. That comes up short. Follow-up attempt. Rejected inside. Byard with a clean block, it appeared, with the left hand, her offhand, because she's got the problem with the shoulder, and she does not agree at all.
Here we go, folks. There's the shot, and there is the block.
All ball.
Followed by a flop, and she's at the free throw line. Here we go.
That is a huge call there. 16.5 seconds left. And Simmons, Hannah Simmons at the line. And she rattles the first one off. Brandywine Maryland Jr. First time at the line for Simmons. We talked about the disparity in free throws. Jaguars 15 of 17 in the contest. Just the 9th and 10th free throws of the game, and she misses both of them. Rebounded by Byard, she got it taken away, and the left-handed hook by Neal is up and pure. So Neal, Jaguars had it with an opportunity to win it, but instead, Neal working the boards.
That's why coaches work on box-out drills. Both the Augusta players went for the ball. Nobody put a body on the person that got the rebound. She goes over the back, she gets it, and she puts it in. Next thing you know, the Hurricanes are up by 3 points.
Well, then we've seen it in overtime in the game that was played, the lone loss by Augusta on their home floor versus a tough and gritty Catawba College team in overtime. Jaguars lost by 2, and they're in another nail-biter. So far, the Jaguars have played 3 and now 4th games where the score has been decided by 4 points or less.
This is a great coaching situation. There's so many things you can do right now. All right, if you're the Georgia Southwestern coach, they inbound. How many seconds are you going to go on the clock before you intentionally foul them? Put them on the line. If they make 2, you still win the game by 1 if you get inbounds. Or do you just go straight to the end of the game and hope they don't make a 3? I say, if you're not going to foul them, when it gets to 7 or 8 seconds, give them a layup and then throw a long pass on the inbounds on the other end of the court and the game's over. But whatever you do, do not foul. Do not foul.
Autry with 14 points. She's been held in check for a minute. Quinasia Abercrombie with 13 and 7. Inbounds to Autry. She'll try to turn the corner. Autry gets inside, tries to swing it to the opposite side. The ball's deflected, and that may do it. 4.1 seconds left as a foul's committed by the Jags, and now they have to hope that the free throws are missed, both of them, and then a desperation heave from 3 with a chance to do it. So the play was set. Autry drove and tried to kick it into that corner, and great anticipation on the part of the Canes defense to come over and swat the ball into the hands of their teammate. Brittle at the line.
Game time.
Brittle knocks down the first, her first attempts at the line. Came in shooting 60% on the season, and she makes a huge pair right there. So the 5'7" junior may have just salted it away with 4.1 seconds left. The Jaguars in this seesaw affair, led by 8 at the end of 1, trailed by 3 at the break. Third quarter, thanks to a 16-8 run, they led it by 5, and now they trail by 5 with 4.1 seconds left.
It was a game of runs. Georgia Southwestern made runs, AU made runs. Unfortunately for the Jags, Georgia Southwestern made the last run. So Georgia Southwestern now should put a little pressure on the inbounds pass, so it's a short pass, basically, by the time they get it up.
Yeah, pardon me, Lynn. Coming up next for the Jaguars, we've got the matchup against USC Buford. They'll travel on Wednesday for that encounter, and then back home on next Saturday. We'll be back on the air on the Roar Network, bringing you coverage of the Jaguars as Autry's shot comes up short, and that'll do it. So the Jaguars losing by 5 on their home floor. Final score of this one, 59-54, as they suffer their first loss in conference play at the hands of Georgia Southwestern University. So we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Jaguars, and we'll get a chance to visit with Celeste Stewart, who'll be alongside here in just a moment. But again, tough loss, just the second loss, and there you have it, Augusta University's upcoming schedule this Wednesday on the road. You'll be able to see that one on the Peach Belt Sports Network. 5:30 p.m. they'll take on USC Buford, one of the new members of the Peach Belt in their second season. And then you've got the matchup with Georgia College and State University next Saturday. Len and I will be on the air at 1:25 with coverage of that. And then back-to-back home games, as we'll be back in action as we take on Columbus State, one of the teams that predicted to finish near the top and undefeated in the Peach Belt, and 6-1 overall. They've got the best winning numbers. So the 6th victory for Georgia Southwestern puts them right in that win column as well, pending the outcome that is of Columbus State's game. So coming up, it's Celeste Stewart set to join us. She'll make her way over. Take a look at the stat sheet. Your final thoughts, Len?
There were 2 quarters that absolutely killed them. It was the second quarter and the last quarter. The second quarter, they've usually played pretty good, but those 2 quarters just sunk them. She wanted consistency, she didn't get it. And that was the outcome of the game, and they had the dreaded 4th quarter spoon again. Here she is.
Yep, Celeste Stewart in her 4th season, set to join us in just a moment as she gets settled in. We can tell you again, Augusta University will be ready for action their next time out, as will Georgia Southwestern State University. Big forces inside with a lot of talent, and the play of Shawnee Jackson helped to lead the way for them, along with Raven Robinson, and the coach that knew she had a really tough task in facing those 2 players, a perimeter player and an inside force. Joins us right now in her 4th season, Celeste Stewart. Coach, I know it's a disappointing loss for your team, 2nd loss on your home floor as well, but most importantly, your players played to the end of the contest. You gave it everything you had.
Yeah, that's the standard. Across the board, that's always the standard. But we struggled. We struggled to score. You know, we took quick shots. Wasn't in rhythm. Yeah, we struggled. We struggled to score. And then defensively, just the matchups. I mean, we got to take pride and have energy from the very beginning, which was the cost of all of the rotations, because the energy wasn't there from the very beginning.
Yeah, you talked to me a few short days ago about competing for a championship and feeling like you have the right parts, and we can see at times there's all those elements. Chloe Ross was tremendous here today after maybe getting off to a little bit slower start than she wanted, having to face her first true real big of the season.
Yeah, again, a learning experience for her. And like I said, 2 bigger post players, so you don't see that as often, but good experience for her, but a lot to learn from this game. So
what's the first plan coming off a loss? What did you do to help you rebound the last time we took a setback?
Yeah, just going back and watching the film and looking at time and score, shot selection. You know, defensively, we have moments when we're in our zone defense. We did well in moments, but I mean, we got to put 4 quarters together. It's always been, I think, putting 4 quarters together.
The final thing I have for you, Coach, I know you guys have a road game coming up against USC Buford, and then you'll be back home next Saturday. We'll get a chance to see you guys then. We want to wish you nothing but the best, because we know this team has that potential. Still young, still learning each other. 10 new players, we might add as well, on the roster from a year ago. Again, have a great week upcoming of practice. Safe travels down to Buford, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Thank you. I appreciate you always.
All right. That's Celeste Stewart. Her team coming up on the short end, unfortunately, in this contest, 59-54, but we know they'll be back and ready to roll for the upcoming contest as Chloe Ross tried to do the best that she could to keep her team close, finishing up with 7 points and 6 rebounds, but it was too much of the inside forces on the part of Georgia, Southwestern State. They were also bombing, especially down the stretch in this contest, to help open up a lead, and a couple of critical calls that went against the Jaguars. Coach couldn't speak to them, but we certainly saw some things that were, at best, not what we needed to pull out the victory. 59-54, your final score for Len Carlson and the hardworking men and women who have brought this cast to you. I'm Charles McNeil saying stay tuned for more Peach Belt Conference action. Augusta University, Georgia Southwestern comes your way just about 20 minutes from now, right here on the Roar Network.